The story begins at a lavish dinner party, a tableau of wealth, elegance, and carefully curated appearances. Claire Reynolds and her husband Ethan play the roles of perfect hosts, circulating among the guests with practiced charm, their smiles gleaming under the soft golden light of crystal chandeliers. But beneath the surface, tension simmers. Every polite conversation carries an undercurrent of suspicion. The laughter is measured, almost rehearsed. The narrative focuses tightly on Claire's perspective, highlighting the subtle cracks in the seemingly perfect facade. Her eyes dart occasionally to Ethan, noticing how his gaze lingers a fraction too long, how his questions about inconsequential details, what she had eaten, who she had spoken to, how long she had been away, carry a weight that feels oppressive rather than caring. These questions, while seemingly trivial, establish the first hints of control and distrust, creating an atmosphere where elegance masks unease. As she maneuvers gracefully among their guests, Claire feels the strain of maintaining appearances, knowing that a single misstep could invite scrutiny. The dinner party becomes not merely a social gathering, but a stage where every gesture and word is loaded with significance, where the audience is the contrast between outward perfection and internal tension. This initial scene serves to immerse readers in Claire's world, immediately drawing them into the subtle psychological dynamics of her marriage and the high stakes of appearances, setting the tone for intrigue and suspense. The opulent setting, juxtaposed with emotional tension, signals that the story will explore themes beyond surface-level luxury, identity, secrecy, and power within intimate relationships. The narrative takes a sharp turn when Claire receives a mysterious text. "You're not who you say you are. I know your secret." This brief message instantly transforms the evening from ordinary social pretense to a suspense-laden moment of crisis. It interrupts the rhythm of conversation and laughter, anchoring readers to Claire's internal turmoil. Her heart races as the words resonate in her mind, conjuring questions that she cannot immediately answer. Who sent the text? How did they uncover her secret? What could the consequences be if Ethan discovers it? The story uses this moment to juxtapose her outward composure with her inner chaos, showcasing her ability to mask fear, curiosity, and anxiety with practiced poise. In this moment, the narrative also subtly contrasts memory and present, briefly flashing back to scenes of Claire and Ethan laughing together, hinting at the veneer of a perfect marriage. These memories deepen the emotional impact of the text, as they reveal the stark difference between what Claire had believed about her life and what she must now confront. Readers experience the tension firsthand, the contrast between her public persona and private reality, the threat of exposure and the mounting pressure of secrets. It's a psychological pivot, the spark that ignites the story's central conflict and draws the audience into Claire's internal struggle. The text is both a literal and symbolic intrusion, a catalyst for suspense that signals the unraveling of relationships and the beginning of Claire's journey to reclaim control over her hidden self. The evening's tension culminates in a quiet, private moment, offering readers a glimpse into the depth of Claire's hidden life. After navigating the social minefield of the dinner party, she retreats to a secluded space, her mind racing with the implications of the mysterious message. There, she opens a hidden drawer, a metaphorical and literal space where her true self resides, untouched by Ethan's scrutiny. Inside, she discovers objects representing a life he does not know, a set of professional files, a carefully curated collection of correspondence from a confidant, perhaps letters or evidence of a secret career, and items that signify a hidden identity. This moment is loaded with dramatic irony, as readers recognize the tension between Claire's outwardly perfect life and the autonomy she has cultivated in secret. The scene establishes the stakes. The audience immediately understands that Claire's secret is significant enough to upend her marriage and alter her sense of self if revealed. By ending the opening sequence here, the narrative creates an immediate hook, suspense. Curiosity and emotional tension converge as readers are compelled to uncover the truth behind her secret identity. The scene also deepens the thematic exploration of control, autonomy, and identity, presenting Claire as a complex character caught between external expectations and internal truths. The juxtaposition of her glamorous public life with the hidden, independent life she leads intensifies intrigue, leaving readers eager to follow her journey and discover how she will navigate the threats, betrayals, and revelations to come. The story's opening thus masterfully combines tension, character development, and narrative propulsion, ensuring engagement from the very first moment. Claire Reynolds, at 32, embodies a striking paradox. On the surface, she is the picture of charm, intelligence, and devotion, a wife who appears entirely committed to her marriage with Ethan. Socially, she navigates high society gatherings with effortless poise, projecting warmth and grace. Yet beneath this polished exterior lies a restless intellect and an unquenched curiosity. Claire secretly pursues a career as a freelance investigative journalist, a path fueled by a desire for purpose and independence beyond the gilded cage of her marriage. The secret life is not merely a hobby. It is a source of identity and empowerment, allowing her to tackle injustices, uncover hidden truths, and exercise a level of autonomy denied to her in her domestic life. The contrast between her public persona and her private endeavors generates both excitement and anxiety, as every day demands precise navigation of deception. She must convincingly lie to Ethan about her whereabouts, inventing errands or work commitments, while mentally preparing for assignments that often expose her to danger or ethical dilemmas. These dualities define her emotional landscape, a constant tension between self-expression and self-preservation, between fear of discovery and the exhilaration of agency. This internal struggle is compounded by a pervasive sense of isolation. Claire cannot openly share her ambitions or victories, relying solely on coded communications and clandestine meetings to sustain her professional passions. Her intelligence and resourcefulness, however, allow her to maneuver skillfully, balancing her personal and secret lives. The narrative establishes her as a multidimensional protagonist, one whose stakes are both intimate and moral, whose daily choices have repercussions that ripple across her marriage, her career, and the lives of those her investigations touch. Readers are invited to invest in her complexity, empathizing with her isolation while admiring her courage. Ethan Reynolds, at 35, is the epitome of outward charisma and success. In public, he is charming, persuasive, and accomplished, a man whose presence inspires confidence and admiration. Yet behind closed doors, this charm is a veneer masking deep control and emotional detachment. He thrives on maintaining authority over his household and expects Claire to conform seamlessly to the life he has orchestrated. Ethan's manipulative tendencies manifest in subtle ways. He questions trivial aspects of Claire's day, monitors her behavior, and gauges her reactions to assess compliance and loyalty. This creates a persistent undercurrent of fear and tension for Claire, as every interaction demands vigilance and careful calibration. The dynamic between them is complicated by the veneer of a perfect marriage outsiders see mutual affection, but the truth is far more precarious. Ethan's business dealings further heighten stakes, as they involve decisions that could harm innocent people if unchecked. Claire, aware of his potential for ethical compromise, feels an added pressure to intervene, her secret investigations sometimes intersecting with Ethan's professional world. Emotionally, she experiences a complex mix of loyalty, resentment, and apprehension. Love and habit tether her to him, but fear and mistrust push her toward independence. Ethan's presence in the narrative establishes an omnipresent tension. He is both a source of danger and a measure of societal expectation, his charisma masking the manipulative behavior that threatens to unravel Claire's double life. This setup allows readers to grasp the stakes at both emotional and narrative levels. Every day is a balancing act, with personal and professional consequences hinging on Claire's ability to navigate deception and secrecy. Maya, Claire's best friend, functions as a crucial emotional anchor and confidant. Unlike other characters in Claire's life, Maya is aware of her double life, offering support, advice, and a sounding board for the anxieties that come with secrecy. She embodies loyalty and empathy, providing Claire with the rare sense of connection that is missing from her marriage. Through scenes of clandestine meetings, whispered conversations, and shared laughter, the narrative highlights the importance of external support in sustaining Claire's secret career. These interactions simultaneously reinforce Claire's isolation from the broader world and the high stakes she faces. Her freelance investigations, which often uncover corruption or wrongdoing in Ethan's business sphere, are not without danger. Exposure could destroy her marriage, and inaction could allow harm to innocent parties. The story's emotional tone emphasizes isolation, fear, and the thrill of secrecy, with readers experiencing both the excitement of Claire's investigative successes and the anxiety of potential discovery. Scenes depict her day-to-day balancing act, fabricating explanations for her absences, managing her assignments, and decoding subtle cues from Ethan's behavior. These dual pressures create a tension-laden narrative rhythm, blending suspense with character-driven drama. The stakes are deeply personal and morally charged. Claire's actions are not merely professional risks, but existential ones, threatening her identity, autonomy, and relationships. By weaving together her internal struggle, the controlling presence of Ethan, and the empathetic support of Maya, the narrative establishes a rich, emotionally compelling foundation. Readers are positioned to invest in Claire's journey, rooting for her resilience while understanding the intricate complexities that make her life both thrilling and perilous. The inciting incident begins with Claire stumbling upon a scene that shatters her perception of her marriage. Ethan, her controlling yet charismatic husband, is meeting a woman named Victoria in a secluded upscale cafe. Victoria is introduced as a colleague, someone Ethan insists is just a friend, but the context and intimacy of their interaction immediately raise alarms for Claire. As she watches from a distance, hidden in the shadows, the gestures, the laughter, and the subtle familiarity between them speak volumes. This moment is more than a potential affair. It is a revelation that Ethan maintains secrets and compartmentalizes his life in ways Claire had not fully anticipated. Claire experiences a rush of conflicting emotions: shock, betrayal, curiosity, and even a grudging admiration for his ability to manipulate appearances. The scene also acts as a mirror, reflecting her own clandestine activities as a freelance investigative journalist. She realizes the symmetry of secrecy within their marriage. Both she and Ethan maintain lives he cannot penetrate, but his lies are tangled in personal deceit while hers are guided by moral purpose. This confrontation with reality forces Claire to reassess the dynamics of power and control within their relationship, highlighting the precariousness of her own hidden life. The narrative uses this discovery to escalate tension dramatically, positioning Claire at the crossroads of personal betrayal and moral reckoning, while also setting the stage for her next decisive actions. Readers are drawn into the immediate emotional intensity of the moment, feeling both Claire's shock and the high stakes of navigating her husband's duplicity while protecting her secret identity. During the meeting, Ethan inadvertently reveals sensitive business information in Victoria's presence, exposing a vulnerability in his otherwise confident and controlled persona. In a fleeting, unguarded moment, he discusses confidential plans, financial projections, or strategic decisions, oblivious to the weight of his words. This slip demonstrates that beneath his polished exterior, Ethan is not invincible. He can be manipulated or exposed, much like the secrets Claire guards so carefully. Simultaneously, it amplifies Claire's awareness of the moral stakes involved. Ethan's actions, if unchecked, could have repercussions that harm innocent people, making the situation about more than personal betrayal. This revelation sharpens the contrast between their double lives. Claire's secrecy serves a purpose, while Ethan's secrets embody selfishness and potential danger. The narrative emphasizes her internal conflict, showing how the thrill of her investigations is now intertwined with fear and ethical responsibility. Claire's mind races with possibilities, weighing the consequences of her next steps. Should she intervene quietly, investigate further, or confront him directly? The tension is palpable, as she recognizes that exposing him could destroy her marriage, social standing, and sense of security, yet doing nothing could allow harm to continue. By juxtaposing Ethan's vulnerability with Claire's moral fortitude, the story deepens emotional complexity, showing that secrecy is both a weapon and a shield in their intertwined lives. This scene sets up a dual narrative tension, the personal and the ethical, both of which propel the story toward the central conflict. The situation escalates when Claire receives an anonymous tip revealing that Ethan may be involved in financial fraud, directly impacting vulnerable people. This information acts as a narrative catalyst, transforming personal betrayal into a moral imperative. Claire is confronted with a series of difficult choices: expose Ethan and risk dismantling her carefully maintained life, including her hidden career and social stability, or remain silent, protecting herself but potentially allowing harm to continue. The inciting incident thus merges personal and professional stakes, forcing Claire to reconcile her dual identities. Her investigative instincts ignite. The thrill of uncovering hidden truths collides with fear of exposure and retaliation. At the same time, the betrayal she witnesses in the cafe intensifies the emotional stakes, making the decision deeply personal. The narrative emphasizes the suspense of uncertainty, as Claire must act swiftly yet strategically, balancing morality, self-preservation, and emotional response. This sequence sets the story in motion, establishing the central conflict. Claire's investigation into Ethan's fraudulent activities intersects with the unraveling of her marriage and personal trust. The reader is drawn into a high-stakes world where secrets and lies shape every choice, and where Claire's courage, intellect, and resilience are tested at every turn. By the end of the inciting incident, the audience understands the dual tension driving the plot, the collision of professional ethics with personal betrayal, creating a compelling hook that propels the narrative forward as the story progresses into the rising tension phase. Claire immerses herself further into investigating Ethan's potentially fraudulent activities. Her life becomes a careful balancing act, navigating the duality of domestic perfection and covert professional diligence. By day, she maintains the facade of a devoted, charming wife, attending social functions, managing household appearances, and engaging with Ethan in polite conversation, all while suppressing suspicion and fear. By night, her mind races over spreadsheets, confidential documents, and discreetly sourced information that could implicate Ethan. The stakes are high. One misstep could unravel not only her marriage, but her reputation and safety. This dual existence amplifies her emotional isolation, as she cannot share the truth with anyone outside her trusted circle, particularly with Ethan. The narrative emphasizes her psychological strain, the constant need for vigilance, the fear of discovery, and the mental gymnastics required to cover inconsistencies in her story. Every phone call, text, and errand must be calculated, increasing the tension and suspense for the audience. Claire's intelligence and resourcefulness are on full display. But so too are the costs: stress, anxiety, and a creeping sense of entrapment. Her internal dialogue often oscillates between determination to expose wrongdoing and dread of the personal consequences of doing so. By presenting Claire's escalating pressure and secret life in vivid detail,